Well, on ESPN FC after the Atletico Madrid Liverpool game, Stevie Nicol was getting a bit antsy and described the performance by Liverpool as their worst for 12 months. And Craig Burley's like, look, come on, it's an overreaction. It's not a disaster. It's the first leg. Where do you stand on proceedings after the first leg?
Well, I think it's a disappointing result for Liverpool. I mean, they did lose the game. So while it may not be a devastating loss and a result that they should be able to overcome, they still lost the game, and now they put themselves in a position in which, one, they lost the game, two, they did not score an away goal, and so in the miracle that Alvaro Morata goes into Anfield and scores an away goal, then maybe that puts Liverpool in a more uncomfortable position. I'm just merely suggesting that while it's not a disaster, it's still not great. And I think the thing that you would say and point out that it's not great is the fact that it just simply was not a good performance by Liverpool. They were almost surprised by the intensity and urgency and attitude of Atletico Madrid. An Atletico Madrid team that, yes, admittedly has struggled in La Liga and doesn't quite know exactly what their identity is and what their personality is as a team. And yet, in this game against Liverpool, they were solid defensively. They physically challenged Liverpool. Liverpool wasn't quite up to that challenge just yet, and Atletico Madrid took advantage of that. And then I think they utilized the crowd, they utilized the energy, they utilized everything in and around the game to make sure that they got themselves through this game. They won it 1-0, and now they give themselves an opportunity going to Anfield.
I think this is a more pertinent discussion with whoever after the second leg. And if Liverpool go through, it's like, hey, the tie is over 2 legs. I want to talk about Atleti in a second, but you're talking about Liverpool and their performance last night. They've set the bar so high. It's like anything that's not perfect is now scrutinised to the nth degree because they have been so good this season.
But it is also fair.
Of course, yeah.
Here's the thing. You are the European defending champion, right? You are winning the league by lapping everybody else. And so when we have had these discussions about PSG, Bayern Munich, any of these teams that are winning their league in a runaway in the past, we have said, well, they struggle in Champions League because they are not able to create that same intensity and urgency in their domestic league games because that league is already won. And so you're so far and away above everybody else in your own league that you don't quite get that sort of challenge that you're going to get in Europe. Well, if we have said that about Bayern Munich in the past, and we have said that about PSG endlessly, well, then it's also fair to say it of Liverpool. Because if you look at the Premier League this year, it's Liverpool and then everybody else. And everybody else have been, to their standard, less than average. See, Manchester City is not playing to their standard, and so therefore they are part of the rest. And that rest has been mediocre. And as good as Liverpool has been, well, are they really being challenged in the Premier League? Well, it showed up in this game against Atletico Madrid, where Atletico Madrid, with whatever antics that Liverpool wants to point at, they showed up and they played the game with their own style, with their own intent, and in the way that made them comfortable. Made them comfortable, but made Liverpool uncomfortable, and ended up winning the game 1-0.
Take you back to the start of the season, and you and I had the discussion about Atleti. You were worried about them. You were worried about the change that Diego Simeone might be doing. You were worried about how they would get on. You were absolutely spot on. Last night there was an element of turning back time a little bit. Why haven't they been able to do that in the league?
Because they don't know who they are as a team. They are trying to find themselves, and so you're trying to be a grinding team with a personnel that doesn't match a grinding team, and then you're trying to be a let's play and knock the ball around with a personnel that doesn't match that either. And you have Simeone, who is all about energy and intensity, and let's get the crowd going, and let's make sure we win 50-50 challenges and second balls and all of that. And then you have other players out on the field that are not quite cut out for that. It's not what they do best. They do a lot of other things that are very good, but not that. And so I think with Atletico Madrid, it's just difficult for them to find consistency in terms of who they are. Because I don't think at the very core, if they sit back and analyze who they are, they don't really know. They don't really know what is it that is the best version of themselves. But yesterday, it all kind of came together.
Yeah.
It's whether it can come together again at Anfield in what's going to be a much tougher environment.
Okay, finally, given Liverpool's recent history in the Champions League at Anfield, their comebacks and everything, is one goal going to be enough? One away goal for Atleti, meaning Liverpool would need 3.
Well, let me go back a second. I find it humorous when people try to legislate as to how Atletico Madrid should celebrate their win at home. And I also find it funny that people are complaining as to Diego Simeone gets the people going and their fans and their stadium. Well, that's
what it's all about.
It's what home and field advantage is. If you have an advantage, then use it. Because guess what? It's exactly what's going to happen at Anfield. Sure. And so club is going to go crazy. And we're going to get the crowd going. And if you're a Liverpool fan and a Liverpool player, you want those fans to go crazy. But in order for them to go crazy, you have to give them a reason. And there's going to be energy. There's going to be intensity. There's going to be urgency. All of that built in. If Atletico Madrid can just kind of embrace that struggle and embrace that pressure and embrace that environment, if they can just for a second just hang on for a little while where Liverpool can get a little antsy themselves, and then the pressure and then the questions, maybe it's enough for Atletico Madrid. But sitting here right now and having seen what Liverpool is in that second leg at Anfield, as we have seen against team of a higher stature as it was Barcelona last year, I just don't think it's enough. And if you're Atletico de Madrid, you're not quite that team that was able to hang on in years past. They were not able to hang on against Juventus last year, and I don't think they're hanging on against Liverpool this year either.
Okay, so Ali, despite Atleti's win last night, has still got Liverpool going through in the end.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.